Alright, hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this news video. I am the Engineer. The topics we are covering today are as follows. A quick update. Isn't it beautiful? Donut test number 5. Why do we still commute? T.E.N on battery tech and research. Solar Girl. Drive the lightning. The IIW affects more than just EVs. BYD is the global leader even after a revenue drop. Finally, things that I liked. Let's get going. Alright, so first things first, a quick update. I am super jazzed about the assembly that I went to. I am going to show you guys a couple of pictures if that is okay. Let's go ahead and bring those up. So generally speaking, the event was pretty awesome. I got to volunteer with checking people in, doing roll call. I got to help count votes and make sure that the votes were vetted and checked and verified, that everybody who was on the voter rolls actually was able to vote, and those who didn't end up on the voter roll could not vote, and things like that. We got to have a lot of fun with the ups and downs of the process. There were a couple of races that were so close that we could not call it until we had checked every single vote, which was really good training for somebody who had never counted votes before now. They had a training beforehand, but doing the real work was actually the best part of this whole situation. This picture is of a hands up situation. Basically, every time that the leader of this group that was counting votes told us to put our hands up, we had to literally stand there, sit there with our hands up and wait until she had resolved whatever issue was there. And then she said, you can go ahead and keep going. Somebody got a picture of it and sent it to me, which I appreciate very deeply because it was hilarious. And just in case you guys are curious, these were the results of that particular situation. You can go ahead and pause it and look through it if you're curious for those who live in Colorado. But yeah, that's what happened for that whole situation. Okay, now on to the news. The answer to this question is obviously yes. Okay. The answer to this question is obviously yes. It is a beautiful vehicle. It looks so good in this lighting. I don't know where somebody came up with the idea to put very dynamic, bright crossbar colored, white lights into a room like this to take pictures of cars. But whoever it was, good job, buddy. This looks amazing. All right, so Donut Lab's 5th test came out, and this was the first test that, in my opinion, made a very good case for it being a solid state or a fully solid state battery. They cycled it several times in intense heat until the battery basically held none of its charge. They cycled it quite a few times, and it did not explode. It did not catch fire. This, by the way, was the battery that failed, whose pouch failed. They just decided to cycle it over and over and over again. And one thing that I will say that I believe they have very right here is the fact that, generally speaking, if you have a battery that is in this situation, that is lithium ion with a liquid electrolyte and things like that, it would absolutely burst into flames at these temperatures, being cycled over and over again with the atmosphere circulating through it, more or less. So yes, this test, I do believe, does show that this battery is at least semi-solid state. I'm not sure about totally solid state yet, only because they haven't chopped it open. That's pretty much the only thing I'm waiting on, but this test was sufficient to me to show that at least it's semi-solid state. I am not a battery scientist, so don't crucify me in the comments. but this test, in my opinion, was enough proof, in my opinion, to show that this was probably a solid state battery that had just lost its seal because of the glues and stuff that they use currently, which would fail at the temperatures that they were testing at. The materials in the battery didn't fail, but the materials sealing the battery did. So good times there. Reading the paper actually did kind of confirm that in my head as well, just because of the temperatures and things like that. So I am not convinced yet about all of the claims, but I am at least fairly confident that this is probably something in the solid state realm. So yeah, good times there. Oh, this video made me so happy. It talked about why we still commute. Long story short, there's not a good reason, and because we still commute, I have been under the impression for the longest time that we should be being paid for that commute, because we are not at home resting. We are not enjoying a road trip with family. We are stressing ourselves out with dozens, if not hundreds of other different people that we interact with on the road on the way to work every single day in order to get to work. We are stressing ourselves out to get there, so I feel like we should get paid for that. That is my opinion. It is an opinion that more people have begun to share as of late. I think especially because after the whole COVID thing happened, people realized that a lot of the jobs that we do that are in office don't necessarily need to be in office. So the logical question to spring from that is, why are we not getting paid to drive into work? Because that time is not free time. So this video covers that in great detail. It is a very fascinating video. I enjoyed every moment. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. By regular car reviews, if you have the time, I would definitely suggest it. Okay, so these wonderful people have decided to make a video covering a bunch of scientific research papers. They do this on a fairly regular basis, but this particular one was really, really solid because they covered a lot of battery technology related things. The names of the papers, in fact, here, hold up, I'm gonna try something. Okay, so the names of these papers are Nanostructured Sodium Vanadate Hydrate as a versatile sodium ion cathode material for use in organic media and for aqueous desalination. One of the bangers. Practical lithium-organic batteries enabled by an N-type conducting polymer. Gel electrolyte featuring a parasitic salt-phobic network enables anode-free lithium batteries with long cycle life and enhanced thermal stability. And finally, number 4, hydrofluorocarbon electrolytes for energy-dense and low-temperature batteries. Yeah, I gotta say, I have not had that much fun reading words since I had to memorize the components of the orbital thrusters that help stabilize the shuttle. By the way, those are monomethyl hydrazine and nitrogen tetraoxide. Those were things that I had to memorize while I was in space camp, when I was working out there, having fun with the children and trying to wrangle the cats while they were going in every single direction imaginable. Anyway, this video was so interesting that I lost track of time watching it. So much so that it went through and I was thinking about the paper names. I was taking mental notes for things to talk about in the video, and I decided to scrap that idea because they did such a good job of talking about these things that I figure the best source for information about these particular papers at this moment is on their channel. So go ahead and check that video out if you are just deeply into the science and the nerdiness behind all of the scientific breakthroughs that happen around battery technology. This video is absolutely for you, so check it out. All right, so Energy Sage has always kind of been a channel that I enjoyed watching, partially because of how fun they make their topics from a production standpoint and from a narrator standpoint. Yeah, just generally speaking, very good. Now, this particular video is about a young lady who calls herself the Solar Girl. I ended up subscribing to her channel, which ironically is not called Solar Girl. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the description below. But anyway, she basically grew up around solar and solar panels, and her dad used to install them all the time for different applications on farms and things like that. Anyway, this video is a good interview of this young lady and what she has done to become who she is today as far as solar experts are concerned. It is a very solid video, one that I was very happy to get the opportunity to watch, because I first of all discovered somebody who actively installs solar panels right now that also happens to have a YouTube channel. Those are fairly rare these days. Even rarer are the young ladies who are doing such things. In fact, I have not seen that up until this point. So good interview, fantastic insight on a fascinating person. Yeah, I would say check it out. Okay, so the fantastic Drive the Lightning channel put out a video that I thought just needed to be mentioned because it is just that cool. He talks about the uniqueness that is the Aptera, and how there's nothing like it out there on the market, and how it is basically the best. I agree with this assessment, but the reasons that he gave in this short video are worth a gander. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check this video out. I don't know if you guys remember last time I did a news video, I talked about how the conflict in Iran is causing a surge in interest in electric vehicles. That surge is also happening with respect to clean energy and the energy transition. There are several countries who had already kind of ruggedized themselves against another war over oil, and those countries are basically seeing little to no change with regard to their oil and gas prices. Though these countries did focus hard on the energy transition, they still do use a little bit of oil, and those countries in general have seen the smallest increases in their gas prices. So not only are EVs becoming an interesting topic for people because of the insane increase in gas prices, they are also looking into renewable energy, solar panels and things like that on their homes. And grid level power grids are looking for more renewable energy to integrate into their networks and all sorts of fun stuff there. And a lot of that is because they see how the countries in question here, I believe China, Spain, China and Spain are seeing a lesser increase in their energy prices than pretty much anywhere else in the world, because they've bolstered their renewable energy. So yeah, hopefully this will make a lot more countries cognizant of the U.S. Dear Lord, I pray, more cognizant of the fact that in general we can become energy independent with technology that exists today. So yeah, very good article. This is the first time I'd heard of Canary Media. They wrote a good article here. Okay, so China's BYD sees first profit drop since 2021, even as the Tesla rival takes global EV crown. This is a long way of saying even when BYD has a sales drop, they still beat out Tesla. Yeah, the article goes into more detail as to what the actual numbers were, but even with a sales drop, BYD is still on top globally. Yeah, that's basically what that is. I have always had a want for the US to be the best. That is no secret to anyone who is on this channel or has been on this channel for some time. But generally speaking, that want has always been stifled by we get on our own way, basically. This most recent administration is included in that number of folks who don't allow themselves to understand or allow that new technology to break into the mainstream. I guess the most recent administration with renewable energy and electric cars, not allowing that to get into the Zeitgeist in a meaningful way, blocking it with misinformation and FUD, all that kind of fun stuff. We get in our own way so much. And I just wish that we would stop that we would get out of our own way, let the technology speak for itself so that the everyday person, the everyday American can make an informed decision. Until that becomes the case, I am convinced that we are, as a country, going to be lagging behind the rest of the developed world with respect to the rest of the world with respect to newer technologies, and especially technologies that will do so much good for the planet and for the general health of everyone. All right, it's time for the things that I liked. Today we are talking about the world's oldest organ donor. This man donated his liver at 100 years old. Now, some of you are probably thinking, what the heck is going on? If you haven't already read the title, basically, your body is always consistently regenerating stuff. The cells in all of your organs are refreshing themselves so frequently that every 3 years, your organs are a completely different thing. They are brand new. The reason that is the case is, your body needs to stay up to date and like make sure that it's keeping itself healthy and all that kind of stuff. But that propensity, that need for your body to renew itself every so often, allows anyone of any age to be an organ donor so long as they have taken care of their organs throughout their lives. There are things that your organs remember that stay in the organ even after regeneration of those cells. And because of that, people have liver damage and lung damage and things like that. But for those who take care of their organs, every 3 years, you basically get a new organ. And so you can, even at 100 years old, donate. The gentleman here saved the life of a person who decided to remain nameless with their liver. And so, yeah, it's just a really inspiring story, and I learned something new here, that even at 100 years old, your organs are basically only 3 years old. So really cool story. The fact that this man decided to serve his country during World War II and to make sure that he saved as many lives as possible, became an organ donor, is inspiring to me, especially as a fellow veteran, and just generally speaking, the goodness of humanity can save humanity so long as we allow it. Just inspiring story, wonderful story here. If you want to read the whole story, as usual, all of the links for the stuff that I've talked about is down below. And so that will do it for this particular news video. I am the Ninjaneer once more. If you like this video, please do all of those wonderful YouTubey things. The liking, the sharing, the subscribing, and the hyping, apparently. Apparently hyping is a thing that you should do as well. So if you don't know how to hype, I cannot help you right now because I do not actually know how to do that myself. I know that there's something down below that says hype this video. I think if you follow the little boxes in the instructions, they'll let you hype the video off of that. So yeah, go ahead and do that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.